An American soldier is on the battlefield alongside Japanese soldiers to fight rebel samurais. He is leading the charge on horseback with his rifle. As the battle rages on, the Japanese soldiers run away in fear as the samurai are relentless and skilled in battle. They kill many soldiers with their swords. One of these victims is an American captain. The American soldier watches the death of the captain in horror. He then fights to the bitter end. He grabs his gun and kills several samurai. Suddenly, he is disarmed and is about to be killed by another samurai. The samurai swings his sword for the kill, but the American soldier acts quickly and impales him with a spear. As the rest of the samurai are charging towards him, the master spares him and decides to hold him captive for his own selfish reasons. Today, we will learn about the American soldier learning the ways of the samurai. The movie begins with a man sitting in a serene, prayer-like pose. In his state of deep meditation, the man sees a vision in which a majestic tiger appears, prowling in the dense and snow-covered forest, its gaze fierce yet calm. This vision foreshadows elements of the story that is yet to unfold. Then, the setting shifts to the protagonist, Captain Nathan Algren, a disillusioned United States Army captain and raging alcoholic. We learn that in the years following the end of his military service, Nathan earns a livelihood by telling war tales to gun show audiences in San Francisco, an act that pushes him deeper into his PTSD and alcoholism. Nathan is sitting down, sipping on his liquor, depicting a sense of detachment and weariness. An announcer's voice can be heard in the background, addressing the audience and creating a buzz of anticipation. The announcer praises Nathan as a true American hero, but Nathan isn't coming out. Increasingly frustrated by Nathan's lack of response, the announcer confronts Nathan, informing him that he is fired and warning that this could potentially be his last performance. Unfazed by the announcer's anger, Nathan takes control of the situation. He confidently steps onto the stage and grabs everyone's attention by presenting his gun, stating that it is the weapon that conquered the West and India. Nathan proceeds to recount the stories of his fallen comrades, engaging the audience with his tales of bravery and loss. Nathan then demonstrates the mechanics of his gun, firing it with utmost accuracy right above the heads of the crowd to show them what he's capable of. In a final act of defiance, Nathan throws his gun into the crowd and walks out, symbolizing his detachment from the violent past he represents. As he steps outside, he notices a man clapping in applause. Nathan's eyes widen in surprise when he recognizes the man, realizing he is alive, a person he had believed to be long gone. Curiosity piqued, Nathan approaches the man, who presents a job opportunity, emphasizing its potential. Intrigued, Nathan seeks to learn more about the nature of the job. The two men enter a nearby restaurant, where Nathan observes a small group of soldiers seated at a table. There is an air of tension in the room, but Nathan remains alert. Inside, the man introduces Nathan to Omura, a Japanese man. Then, Omura quickly outlines the details of the job. Training the Japanese army, there are samurai rebelling against the modernization effort, and Omura needs the Americans' help to stop them. Omura offers a monthly salary of $400, which Nathan playfully counters, requesting $500 per month and an additional $500 upon completion. Upon agreement, Nathan sets off on his journey toward Yokohama Harbor. Nathan and his companions journey to Japan under Bagley's command. Nathan's former army colleagues, Sergeant Zebulon Gant and Simon Graham, a British translator, are already there to provide assistance. Nathan learns that the Emperor of Japan has enlisted professionals from various fields, including lawyers, architects, and warriors like Nathan. Then, Nathan meets with the Emperor. Nathan is humbled by the Emperor's gratitude for accepting the job. The training commences, and amidst the drills and exercises, Nathan becomes captivated by the stories of the enemy samurai named Katsumoto. Nathan learns that Katsumoto's refusal to rely on firearms in battle has made him a legend and a symbol of honor. Once the training day is complete, Nathan and Graham go back to their quarters. Nathan's insatiable curiosity leads him to explore the depths of Japanese literature, particularly books on the revered samurai. Seeking a translated version, Nathan asks Graham if such a treasure exists. However, Graham confesses that the translation remains a work in progress. In an exchange of banter, Nathan's linguistic prowess is revealed, prompting Graham to test his abilities by requesting a translation of a rather morbid topic, peeling skin. As he vividly illustrates the skin-peeling ritual, A haunting flashback of his past Indian raids interrupts his thoughts. The images of innocent lives lost weigh heavily on his conscience, leaving him teary-eyed and contemplative. Returning to the present, Nathan resumes his training with the soldiers, noting that they are still ill-prepared for battle. He takes notice of their lack of accuracy and the scattered nature of their gunfire. Seeking improvement, Nathan then gets his gun and says that the soldier must shoot, and if not, he will be the one shooting back. The soldier is reluctant and doesn't want to do it, but Nathan pressures him by shooting his hat. The soldier then aims, but he misses Nathan by a mile. Nathan then storms out, saying that they are still not ready. However, the colonel remains resolute, determined to push forward with their plans for battle. Undeterred, the colonel maintains his resolve, setting a specific time and location to engage Katsumoto's forces. Nathan reluctantly joins the others, though his apprehension and doubt remain evident. The day of the battle arrives, and as they journey to the province, they encounter the aftermath of destruction, scorched homes and displaced families seeking refuge. Graham, observing the bleak scene, asks Nathan how they will find the elusive samurai. Nathan's response reveals a newfound understanding and respect for Katsumoto's tactics. They won't find the samurai will find them. As they reach Yoshino province, Nathan takes charge, carefully positioning his soldiers in the dense forest. The tension builds, each soldier grappling with their own fears and uncertainties. Nathan's experience in warfare becomes an anchor for their wavering resolve, his calm demeanor offering a glimmer of hope in the face of imminent conflict. Suddenly, the screams of the enemy are heard, but they remain hidden from sight. When the enemy finally comes into view, Nathan orders the soldiers to aim and fire. However, due to fear and lack of discipline, some soldiers shoot prematurely without reloading. Chaos ensues as most soldiers flee, and the samurai, with their horses, charge forward. A bloody war ensues, revealing the stark contrast between the samurai's swords and the soldiers' rifles. Amid the chaos, Nathan and his comrade Zeb engage in sword combat. Zeb is attacked by a spear-wielding, red-masked samurai who dismounts to deliver a fatal blow. Nathan, distracted, falls from his horse, but continues to fight despite sustaining multiple wounds from various spears. On foot, he furiously defends himself against several samurai with a broken spear that has a flag embroidered with a picture of a white tiger. The flag on the spear reminds Katsumoto of a vision he had while meditating. The samurai with the red mask is getting ready to kill Nathan, but Nathan then grabs a spear from the ground and stabs the samurai through the throat, killing him. As a result of Katsumoto's interpretation of what he has seen as an omen, he orders his warriors to refrain from killing Nathan and instead take him captive. Nathan awakens in Katsumoto's remote village, tended to by a woman named Taka, who cares for his wounds. He is haunted by memories of the Indian raids, tormenting him as he recovers. Days pass. Nathan has fully recovered and is now immersing in the rebels' way of life, witnessing their training and daily routines. He begins to understand the true meaning of the word samurai, to serve. After some time, he crosses paths with Katsumoto, who shows an interest in Nathan and starts having regular conversations with him. One day, Nathan engages in a conversation with Katsumoto at a temple. Nathan realizes that the emperor has become Omura's puppet, a realization that leads to an intense confrontation. Then, one night, an attack by ninja assassins disrupts the tranquility of the villagers. Nathan sounds the alarm and then takes up a sword to help protect Taka, her children, and Katsumoto. He earns Katsumoto's respect by fighting deftly and dispatching a number of attackers. The samurai prevail over the ninjas. Nathan then travels to Tokyo with Katsumoto. Authorized by the emperor, Nathan discovers that Bagley's army has improved its organization and is now armed with American-made Gatling guns and howitzer rifles. Nathan respectfully declines by consenting when Omura offers him a new contract to take over the army's command and put an end to the samurai uprising. On the other hand, Omura has privately instructed his men to eliminate Nathan if he tries to inform Katsumoto of their plans. Katsumoto, a former tutor of the young emperor, offers the boy his counsel. He discovers that the emperor is effectively Omura's puppet, and that his hold on the throne is far weaker than he had previously believed. During this conversation, Omura has Katsumoto arrested and imprisoned in his Tokyo residence after he disobeys a new legislation that prevents samurai from carrying their sword in public. Nathan tries to alert Katsumoto about an impending assassination attempt. A number of Omura's men ambush him as he walks down the street in the direction of Katsumoto's quarters. Nathan kills all of his attackers, even though he has nothing to defend himself with. He barely stays alive by using the skills he learned while living with Katsumoto's people. Nathan gets Katsumoto out of jail with the help of the other samurai. During their escape, Katsumoto's son is gravely wounded and stays behind to help his father escape. Nathan watches as the mortally wounded son charges their enemies, only to be killed by gunfire. Katsumoto is still grieving the loss of his son when he learns that 2 battalions of roughly 2,000 Imperial Army men, led by Omura and Bagley, are going out to face the samurai. A small force of samurai, only 500 strong, is assembled as a counterforce. Nathan informs Katsumoto about the Battle of Thermopylae, in which a small force of 300 Greeks held an opposing force of 1 million Persians at bay for 3 days by taking advantage of the terrain and the foe's overconfidence. Nathan suggests that a similar strategy be used in the present situation to make the enemy's artillery less effective. He suggests employing a similar tactic, bringing the enemy closer to engage in close quarters combat with swords. On the day before the fight, Katsumoto gives Nathan a katana. Additionally, Taka also gives him the red armor that her dead husband wore, and as Nathan leaves, they kiss. The next day, the battle is met with a brief standstill. Each troop takes its position, and the Japanese regime initiates the attack with cannon fire. The samurai stand resolute, facing the onslaught without faltering. As the cannon attack continues, inflicting damage and forcing the samurai to retreat as planned, Nathan and the rebels find cover in wooden barriers. A fierce exchange of gunfire ensues, but Nathan instructs his comrades to wait until the soldiers are reloading before launching their attack. The samurai charge forward, engaging the soldiers in a deadly clash. The field is drenched in blood as the samurai's swords prove formidable against the soldiers' firearms. They set fires that cut in half the enemy's fighting power immediately, and then the samurai shoot arrows at the infantrymen. Before the troops can get back together after being hit by arrows, they are attacked by a wave of samurai swordsmen, including Katsumoto and Nathan. Behind them comes a second wave of Imperial infantry, which is met by samurai cavalry. This leads to a fierce battle in which many people die on both sides before the remaining Imperial soldiers finally flee. Realizing that more Imperial troops are coming and that they will surely lose, the remaining samurai decide to make one last fate-filled horseback attack. Bagley shoots Katsumoto in the shoulder during the fight, but before he can finish him off, Nathan throws his sword at Bagley and spears him through the chest, killing him. When the samurai got close enough to the Imperial backline to scare Omura, they were finally killed by Gatling gunfire. When the captain of the Imperial troops, who was originally trained by Nathan, sees the dying samurai charging into battle without fear, he orders the Gatling guns to stop shooting against Omura's wishes. As part of Bushido, Katsumoto asks Nathan to help him commit seppuku. Nathan agrees, putting an end to Katsumoto's life. The Imperial troops, led by their captain, kneel and bow before the dead samurai to show that they still respect the old way of doing things. Later, as the American representative gets ready to get the Emperor's signature on a treaty that would give the U.S. the exclusive right to sell guns to the Japanese government, a wounded Nathan presents the Emperor Katsumoto's sword as a gift and in honor of his former teacher. When the Emperor gets the sword, he sees that Japan needs to become more modern, but it can't forget its own history, culture, and traditions. Then, the Emperor tells the American representative that the treaty he wants to make is not in Japan's best interests. When Omura objects, the Emperor realizes Omura is not acting in the best interest of the people and confiscates his estates and wealth. When Omura tries to argue, the Emperor gives him Katsumoto's sword and says that if the shame is too much for him to handle, he should commit seppuku. Omura, who is scared but polite, just drops his head and moves away. In the end, Nathan is spared. Some believe Nathan died from his wounds, while others claim he returned to America. However, unbeknownst to many, Nathan finds his way back to the village where he goes back to Taka, seeking solace and a sense of belonging in the world he came to understand and respect.